Hi there, it's Eb Gagano from productiveblogging.com. Today I'm going to show you how to use ConvertKit, which is one of my favourite blogging tools. It's no secret that I love ConvertKit. It's super simple to use and yet it does so much. Not only does it help you collect email addresses and send out newsletters, but it also has a whole bunch of amazing features that allow you to automate a lot of your email marketing. So for example, you can send targeted emails to a subset of your subscribers based on their behavior or their requests. So for example, if they click a link in your newsletter saying that they're interested in your new product or your new service or even an affiliate link, you can then have ConvertKit automatically send them more information or a sales sequence to hopefully close the deal. You can also deliver multiple opt-in offers really easily with no complicated integrations or mental gymnastics. You can build free landing pages, create sales funnels, and much more. Okay, let's dive in. Okay, so one of the really great things about ConvertKit is that you can try it for free. So to get your free trial of ConvertKit, go to productiveblogging.com/ConvertKit. That is my affiliate link for ConvertKit, and I would be hugely grateful if you would use it. And then come down here to where it says try it for free and click. And ConvertKit will take you through a really simple series of questions asking you things like, do you want to import your list or start from scratch? And do you have a website? And if so, is it WordPress or is it Squarespace or whatever you're on? So you just go through those simple questions and then you will get to a screen which looks like this. And the first thing you're going to want to do is come up here to where it says your email address and it sort of has a blank profile picture, and just click there and then choose account settings. And this is the area where you can set up your account. So there's not a lot you need to do here. There's just one or two things to do to make your account complete. So the first thing you're going to want to do is come down to here where it says company name, and you're just going to want to type in the name of your blog. Then you're going to want to come here to where it says your profile, click on that, just type in your name, it's auto-populated with your email address, and put in your password. Then you're going to want to come down here to where it says email, and there's a couple of really important things you need to do on this screen. The first is to decide which email address you want to send your emails from. So when your emails come through to your subscribers from ConvertKit, it will look like it comes from your normal email address. So make sure that you're happy for it to come from the email address that you signed up to with ConvertKit, because it will actually, here the email address will default to whichever email address you signed up to ConvertKit with. If you don't want it to come from that email address, that's totally fine. Just add a different email address here. And whenever you add an email address into ConvertKit, they will send that email address a confirmation email, which you need to click in and follow the instructions there just to confirm to ConvertKit that you do indeed own that email address. They won't let you send any emails to any subscribers until you've confirmed your email address. If you don't get that email, you can just come over here to resend email to make sure that you've confirmed your email address to ConvertKit. And then the other thing you want to do in this section is you want to change your from name. So the default is just your email address. That doesn't look too great. So this is what will actually appear in the inbox of your subscriber. So you're going to want to change this. You might want to change it to your name. You might want to change it to your blog name, or you might want to do a kind of hybrid, which is what I do. So this is what I do. I type in Eb at Productive Blogging. And the reason I do this is because I think it gives me a kind of best of both worlds. So the Eb is kind of friendly, it's personable, it's not coming from like a faceless corporation. It gives your email personality. So it makes you think, oh, Eb's emailing me again. But if someone gets an email particularly when they're a new subscriber from Ebb or Ebb Gagano, they might be like, who on earth is Ebb? Whereas if I put Ebb at Productive Blogging, that instantly makes them think, oh, it's Ebb and it's from Productive Blogging, and that's where I signed up to receive emails from. So that's what I like to do. Obviously, you choose what you would prefer to do, but I think that is a really nice best of both worlds. Okay, once you've done that, you want to then scroll down to where it says address. And it says here, anti-spam laws require a physical address where you can be reached to be at the bottom of every email. So this is a legal requirement that you need to put your address, your physical address, or a physical address where you can be reached at the bottom of every email. You can put your own address in here if you feel happy to have your own address at the bottom of every email. Some people are okay about that. Personally, I don't like that idea. Or you can sign up for a PO box and put that address in there. So long as you can get mail to that address, it's okay. So long as it's a PO box that if anyone ever sent you anything, that you could get that mail sent on to you, that's okay. But ConvertKit have a really, really cool feature, which I haven't seen anywhere else actually. You can use ConvertKit's own physical address. So ConvertKit will let you use their address at the bottom of your emails. And if you were to receive any correspondence to that address, ConvertKit will actually scan that correspondence and send you the PDF, which I just think is amazing. And it's just one example of where ConvertKit really listen to their users and really provide their users with what their users want. Okay, so once you've done that, the only other section that you need to really worry about is this billing section. You don't have to go into that billing section at the moment. But if you do, it will just tell you that you're on free trial and how long you've got left in your free trial. But when you're ready, if you decide that ConvertKit is for you, this is where you need to come in and add your billing information, add your credit card in here so that you can keep going with ConvertKit after your free trial. Okay, so once you've done that, make sure you save your settings. And next, we're going to look at how to create a form in ConvertKit. So come up here to where it says landing pages and forms and create new. And in ConvertKit, you have a choice. You can either create a form or you can create a landing page. So basically a form is something that you put onto something else. So a form, for example, is what you would create if you wanted to embed a sign-up form in a blog post or a widget area on your blog, whereas a landing page is a page in its own right. So for the purposes of this tutorial, we're going to create a form, but creating a landing page is exactly the same. It's just you're creating a whole page rather than a form to put on your blog. So click here where it says form, and then you have a choice of 4 different forms. You can choose inline, which is kind of where you embed it in the middle of a blog post somewhere. Modal is like a pop out. Slide in is kind of like a toaster style slide in from the bottom. And sticky bar is a sticky bar at the top. So let's create an inline. This is the one that I create most often. And then you get a choice of templates. So you get everything from this kind of really basic one here, which is just name, email address, and subscribe, right up to ones like this one or this one, where you can put a really nice big picture of your opt-in offer or something that's going to attract your subscribers. So again, for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to use the first one, which is called the Charlotte form. So just click on that to choose it. And then you get straight into the editing screen where you can edit what this form looks like. And you can pretty much edit everything in this form. So the first thing you're going to want to change is probably this picture. So if you just click on the picture and then come over here to the right hand side and click replace image. And you can either upload an image from your form, so you might have a picture of your opt-in offer, for example, or a picture that will attract your readers to look at your opt-in form, or ConvertKit have a couple of really great integrations. One is an integration with Unsplash, which is a stock image library. So you can use any of those really beautiful professional photographs for free. Or you can also upload a picture from Instagram. So if you've got a really good picture from Instagram that you want to use, you can upload that. So I'm going to show you how to do it with Unsplash today. So let's just go to Unsplash. And then it gives you an opportunity to search the images. And you can just type in here something that's perhaps related to the opt-in offer that you have. So let's say, for example, the opt-in offer I have is some kind of checklist. Let's see what happens if I type in list. And there you see you've got lots of kind of checklisty looking images that you can choose from to illustrate your freebie that you're offering. So I'm just going to pick one of these. I'm going to pick this one. This looks like a checklist to me. And you can see that goes straight in there as your image. You can also change this white background if you want to, and you've got that option over here as well. Personally, I prefer white. I think it kind of looks better, but if you want to change this perhaps to one of your brand colors, for example, you can do that. So the next thing you're going to want to do is change the text and make this something that's going to grab your readers' attention and make them want to subscribe. So as you can see here, the default is get our how-to guide, but you will want to change that to whatever's relevant to your opt-in offers. So for example, it might be get the checklist. Get the checklist. And you can, if you want to, you can change this font color to be perhaps one of your brand colors or something that matches the image maybe. I'm just going to keep it in black for now to keep things simple, but you can just type in your hex code here if you want to change the font color. You can also change the font size if you like, and you can change the font weight, so either bold or normal. Okay, next we have this section here where it says your first name and your email address. I think for most people you're going to want to keep this as it is, but if you wanted to change it for some reason, just click into that and then come over here and you can change what the custom field's called, and you can change the colors, and you can even add in extra custom fields. So if you wanted an extra custom field, like, I don't know, location or mobile phone number or whatever it is, then you could add extra custom fields here as well. And then we come down to the button. And again, the button is fully editable. So the first thing you're probably going to want to do is change what the button says. You could change this to send me the checklist, for example. Or you could change it to download or get it now or anything that's compelling. Whatever you do, try not to leave this button as saying something like subscribe, because that's not very compelling. People aren't excited by the idea of subscribe. They're excited by the idea of free stuff and free stuff now. So anything that can kind of get over to them that if they click that button, they're going to get their free stuff. That's what you want to do. You can also, if you like, change this disclaimer. You can change the color, the size, and you can change the wording as well if you want to maybe make this sound a little bit more like your own personal style. But you obviously do want to include some kind of disclaimer here to give people confidence that if they click that button, you're not then going to sell all their data somewhere. Okay, so once you've got your form looking like you want it to look, the next thing to do is to come over here and click on this gear icon. So we've been working on this kind of, I'm not sure whether it's a pencil or a magic wand. I think it's a magic wand. So just come down to the one below, and that is the settings. So go into settings, ignore all this stuff about custom domain and page URL. You can worry about that later if you want to. The important thing in this section is this bit here where it says when a visitor subscribes to the form, and it gives you two options. You can either show a success message. The default here, you've got success. Now change your email to confirm your subscription. Or you can redirect to an external page and type in your external page. It's up to you which you go for. If you're starting from scratch, probably just stick with a success message, but you might eventually want to move on to redirecting people to an external page and create a page on your blog that whenever anyone signs up for something, you redirect them to that success page. I'll show you mine just so you can see what I'm talking about here. So you can see here that on my blog, I have a little success page which just says your free gift is winging its way to your inbox right now. Please make sure to add my email address to your address book so it doesn't land up in your spam folder. Just something quick and simple so they know that they've put their details into that form, they know what's going to happen next, and they know how to get their freebie basically. Okay, so once you've decided what to do when a visitor subscribes, the next thing you're going to want to do is come down here to this sort of letter email icon, click on that, and this is all about the incentive email. So when someone subscribes, you basically have two options. You could auto-confirm all new subscribers. And in that case, what would happen is as soon as someone put their email address into the form, they would automatically become a subscriber. There's a number of reasons why this isn't a good idea. First of all, that's not legal in lots of countries. So for example, if you've heard of GDPR, that's one of the things that you're not allowed to do under GDPR is just automatically subscribe someone who puts their email address into a form. The other reason why it's a really bad idea is because you can get kind of bots putting in random email addresses into forms, and so you could quickly find that your email list is just full of bots and fake subscribers and not people who are really interested in getting your emails. And obviously if you're paying for your emails by the number of subscribers, you really don't want to be paying for a whole load of bots. So I really discourage you from clicking auto confirm new subscribers and instead go for this option to send an incentive email. So click on edit email contents, and by default this email is very simple and it just says confirm your subscription. Thanks for signing up. Click below to confirm your subscription. It's good to have you. And then your subscriber would just click this button, confirm your subscription. So if you're doing something really basic, if you are just using this to get people to sign up for your newsletter, then something like this is fine. However, it's much better if you can offer a free opt-in offer to your new subscribers. And this email is how you're going to deliver that free opt-in offer. So the first thing you're going to want to do is select your from address. So this would be the address that you set up in settings earlier. And then you're going to want to change the subject. Okay, so important, confirm your subscription. That's not going to be compelling enough for someone who has signed up for one of your opt-in offers. So what you want to do is make it really clear in the subject that their opt-in offer is in this email. So our example was a checklist. So you might want to say in this subject line something like, here's your checklist. And then in the message, you're going to want to make it really clear what's going to happen when they click the button, because people are a little bit confused by this kind of email. So in the initial message, say something like, to get your checklist, click the button. Make it really clear what they have to do and tell them that when you click the button, it will automatically download. And the other thing you want to do in this email is just make it really clear that when they click that button, they will be added to your email list. Again, this is really important so that people know what will happen when they click that button. So just put maybe a paragraph just below the button, just to say, when you click this button, you'll get your free download and you'll automatically be added to my email list and get my weekly newsletters. But don't worry, if you decide this is not for you, you can click unsubscribe at any time. Something like that, just so people are really clear what's going to happen when they click that button. They know they're going to get their downloads and they know that they're going to be added to your email list. And there's one more thing that you want to do on this, and that is change the button text. You can change this button text to anything you like, but I really recommend you change it to download. So people who are busy and they're quickly scanning their emails can see really quickly and easily what it is they have to do to get their hands on the free thing that you promised them. And then when you've done that, when you've got your email looking exactly as you want it to, then just come up here and click the cross and all those changes will be saved for you. The next thing to do is to decide what you want to happen when someone clicks that button. So assuming that what you want to happen is that they get the checklist or they get the free opt-in, whatever you've created for them, you want to come down here to where it says after confirming redirect to, and select download. And then you just click here where it says choose a file and browse through the files on your computer to find the opt-in offer that you have already created. If you haven't created an opt-in offer, if you are just simply using this as a way of getting people onto a newsletter, you can go for the URL option. And by default, ConvertKit have a URL already in there which just says something really simple like your subscription is confirmed. So you can use that if you don't have an opt-in. But as I've said before, I really recommend you create an opt-in offer. It's much more compelling and you're much more likely to get many more subscribers that way. Okay, when you've done all that, the next thing you want to do is just make sure all your changes are saved. So come up here and click save, and it will tell you up here that your form has been successfully updated. And then you are going to want to put that form into either a blog post or a widget space on your blog. So to do that, you're going to want to come up here to where it says embed. Now, if you want to put this form into a blog post or a widget space, all you need to do is just grab this JavaScript, click copy, and it will automatically be copied. And then you just go into your blog post or your widget space and paste that in there, and it will automatically be there and be working. So let me show you how to do that. So let's come over to productive blogging. Okay, so I'm in the back end of my blog and I've just created a new blog post. I've called it My Amazing Checklist. Sign up for My Amazing Checklist. And then to add in the box, the sign up form for ConvertKit, you just want to click on your add block symbol and choose the one which is under formatting called custom HTML, and then just paste that code that you got from ConvertKit into the box. And then you can click preview and you can automatically get a preview of what your sign up form is going to look like. And then you can also obviously preview up here to see what it's going to look like in the actual blog post. So you can see here my title, that tiny bit of introduction text. Obviously you'd write a lot more of this as a real blog post. And then you can see my lovely ConvertKit form in my blog post with that really nice compelling button, send me the checklist. And you can put this anywhere in a blog post, at the top, at the bottom, in the middle. I often find I get the best results from putting these in 2 different places in my blog post, somewhere near the top and somewhere near the bottom. And you can also put this into a widget space, for example, in your sidebar or on your homepage. And that's all you need to do. So as soon as you've embedded that form into your blog post or into your sidebar or wherever you want to put it, it's live and you can start collecting email addresses. It's really that simple. Okay, so now you've created a form or lots of forms, and I really recommend you create lots of forms because ConvertKit make it super easy. Once you've created your form, you can start to collect subscribers. You're going to want to send them something. And what most bloggers want to do is send out a regular newsletter. ConvertKit call these newsletters broadcasts. Broadcasts are one-off emails. ConvertKit have 2 kinds of email. They have broadcasts, which are these one-off emails like newsletters, and then they have sequences, which is like a series of emails. So you'd use that, for example, if you were creating a welcome sequence or if you were creating a sales funnel. So we're going to look first at broadcasts, and to create a broadcast, just click up here where it says broadcasts, and then come over here on the right hand side where it says new broadcast and click new broadcast. And creating a broadcast is a 3-step process. First of all, you decide who you want to send it to, then you decide what you want to send them, and then you get to preview what you're sending and decide when you want to send it. So we're in this first screen of deciding who we want to send this broadcast to. You can choose any section of your subscribers. So you could pick subscribers who have all bought something from you, or subscribers who are all tagged with a certain tag, or subscribers who are all in a particular location, or really the sky is the limit in terms of who, how drilled down into your subscriber base you can get. However, I think for most people, what you want to do is send your newsletter to all of your subscribers. So if that's the case, then you can just leave this screen as it is, as all subscribers. But there might be situations where you don't want absolutely every single subscriber to get your newsletter. Perhaps this particular newsletter is all about a product and you don't want people who've already bought that product to get that newsletter. So if you do have people that you don't want to receive your newsletter, you can use this screen to filter out those people who you don't want to receive your newsletter. So you're doing all of your subscribers apart from, and then you add a filter group and matching none of, whatever that filter is. So people who you want all your subscribers to get your newsletter except for people who've bought my product, for example. Okay, once you've made that decision, I'm just going to click out of there. You then come on to the next step, and ConvertKit make it really, really easy to create emails. There are no kind of complicated templates or faffing about with complex design. They make writing a newsletter for your blog as simple as writing a normal email. So you have the email subject, which you can type in anything you like. And down here, you can write your email content. Now, some people might look at that and think, but I want to put lots of pretty stuff in my newsletter. Why doesn't ConvertKit let me put lots of pretty stuff in my newsletter? You can add photographs and things like that. But the logic behind this is simply that when you're in your inbox, which of the emails are you most likely to read? And the emails you're most likely to read are the emails from friends and family, people you know. And what do emails from people you know look like? They look like normal text-based emails. So people are much more likely to open and read and click on emails which actually look like they come from a human being, rather than a lot of these fancy emails which look like basically they come from a faceless corporation. And we as bloggers, one of our huge advantages over big corporations is that we are kind of one-man bands or one-woman bands. We are individual people, and people connect with people. So the whole system here is set up to make writing a normal email that looks like it comes from a human being really easy. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is obviously edit your email subject. And I really recommend you don't put in this email subject, my newsletter or my blog's newsletter or productive blogging newsletter, because I don't know about you, but when I flip through my emails, I get so many of them. And if I see one that just kind of says newsletter, I flick straight past it. But if I see one that says something much more compelling, I don't know, like 3 things which happened this week, or the secret to email marketing success, or something that really gets me going, ooh, I wonder what that's about, I'm much more likely to click on it. So please try and choose something other than newsletter in your email subject. And then when you come down here, this is where you edit your main email content, and you can just write a normal email here, but if you want to, for example, add a link or add a file or add a photograph or an image, you just come over here to this plus button, click on the plus button, and you've got all of those options: images, files, buttons, videos, dividers, or even some HTML if you want to add in some HTML. So you have got options to make your email a bit more attractive, but not over-designed. Okay, so once you have got your email looking how you want it to look, the next step is to preview and send. So come down here to the bottom where you've got options to save and next step. Make sure you've saved it and then click on next step. And next step will take you to this preview screen where you can see what your email is going to look like in somebody's inbox, and it will also give you 3 options for what you want to do with your email. So the first option is just to simply send your email. So you've written your email. If you think it's ready to go and you want your subscribers to get it right now, then click send broadcast. Simple. If you want your newsletter to go out at a specific time in the future, then you have an option to schedule your newsletter for a date in the future. So just come over to here to where it says send immediately, and instead of sending immediately, click schedule and choose the date that you want to send it on. So maybe I want to send it on the 18th at 9 a.m. in the morning. This is where you can do that. And the third option, if you're not ready to send and you're not ready to schedule, is you can just come down here to where it says save draft and click save draft, and then that will give you the option to come back and edit your broadcast in the future. Okay, so that's all the basics. You now know how to set up your ConvertKit account, you know how to create a form, and creating a landing page is exactly the same as creating a form. So if you know how to do a form, you know how to do a landing page, you know how to embed that form on your blog, and you know how to send your subscribers newsletters. So that is the absolute basics. And I hope you can see how really, really simple actually setting up ConvertKit is and how easy it is to add multiple opt-in offers to your blog and get lots and lots of subscribers and to send them a newsletter. Really quick, really easy, really simple. But there's one other thing I want to show you, and that is how to create a welcome sequence, because creating a welcome sequence in ConvertKit is super easy. And I know it's one of those things that many bloggers put off, but if you've got ConvertKit, you won't put it off anymore because it's super easy. So in order to create a welcome sequence, you want to come up here to where it says sequences. And then select the option of new sequence over here. And then just give your sequence a name. So for example, let's call this welcome sequence. And then create sequence. And you'll come onto another screen which looks a little bit like creating a normal email. And this is where you can create your welcome sequence. So really all you need to do here is change the subject to be something sensible. So maybe welcome to productive blogging. And then change the email, the main body of the email, to say whatever you want it to say, giving information about yourself and your blog and welcoming your new subscriber to your email list. When you are happy with the content of your email, there are 2 really important things to do. The first is to change when this email sends. So you want your first email in your welcome sequence to go out as soon as someone has subscribed to your list. So you want them to get that initial email where they've got your free welcome gift, and then they get a second email either immediately or at most an hour later, welcoming them to your email list, welcoming them to your blog, and telling them all about your blog and telling them that they're going to get a few emails welcoming them, and then they'll start getting your normal newsletters from then on in. So I would change when to send to and just turn that to a 0, and then that will automatically become immediately. And the other thing you're going to want to do is change your status from draft to active. Don't worry, it's not going to go anywhere yet because you haven't connected it up yet, but it's good to do it now because it's something that's easy to forget later on down the line. Now, this is obviously just a sequence of one email at the moment, but I'm assuming in your welcome sequence, you're going to want to create a few emails. So to add another email, it's really simple. You just come over here on the left-hand side and click add email, and then do exactly the same. Write your subject, write your content, change your status to active. But this time, you're probably going to want to choose to send this after a day or maybe 2 days. So the default is always after 1 day. I send my sequence on consecutive days. So if someone signs up for something, immediately after they've signed up, they'll get my first welcome email. And then on day 2, they'll get my second email, day 3, my third email, and so on. You might want to do it like this, or I've also seen some people who leave a little bit longer and a little bit longer. So maybe the second email comes in a day later, but then the third email comes into 3 days later, and then the fourth email 3 or 4 days later. So play about with it and decide what you feel happy with. But I would say if you are going to be emailing every single day, in that first welcome email, make that really clear so people understand that you're not always going to be emailing every day. It's just because they're new. Once you have got your email sequence looking like you want it to, the next thing to do is to make sure that you save it. So just click Save All up here. And then you will have a lovely welcome sequence, but it will never go anywhere unless you create an automation. Automations are one of the best features of ConvertKit because they allow you to create rules for who gets what when and to visually see that, which makes it so much easier to understand. So let me show you how to create a really basic automation. So we come up here to where it says automations and go across here on the right where it says new automation. And then you want to choose create automation, and it will give you a number of options. And this is how someone comes into the automation. So in this instance, we want to select joins a form, and then you need to choose a form. So there's the form we created earlier, and then just click add event. And so there is the kind of entry point to this automation. So people who do this action will get this automation. So people who sign up using that form that we created at the beginning of this video, they will have this happen to them. And then to make sure that people who sign up get your welcome sequence, you then want to come here to the plus button, click on the plus button and choose add the subscriber to an email sequence, and then find your email sequence. We called it welcome sequence, and add action. So now what will happen here is that whenever anyone signs up using the Charlotte form, they will get added to the welcome sequence. And then the final thing you want to do is click here. It says the moment that this automation is paused, as soon as you click here, that will turn the automation on and mean anyone who signs up to that form will get that welcome sequence. And once you've toggled that little toggle, it will show that this is now live. I hope you can see just how much exciting potential is in this visual automation capability on ConvertKit. There is so much you can do with this. It almost blows my mind. You can do really, really simple things like someone subscribes to a form, they get the welcome sequence. But you can also, as you get more confident with ConvertKit, you can build really interesting workflows in this automation section where, you know, if someone clicks on this link, they get sent this sequence, but if they click this link, they get this sequence. Or you can use this so that if anyone shows interest in a product, you then send them a sales sequence. You can use this to make sure people get sent the right thing at the right time, and it all happens automatically. So once you've set up an automation, that's it. It just runs and runs and runs, and you don't have to think about it anymore, which saves you loads of time and gives you loads of potential for making money in your sleep, which is why I love automations quite so much. There's one more thing I want to show you, and that is how to create a rule in ConvertKit. So a rule is like a one action automation. So let's say, for example, when anyone gets the welcome sequence, we want to tag them as having got the welcome sequence. We could do that in visual automations. And to do that, you would just click here, and the action would be add or remove a tag. And then you would click here to create a tag. So our tag would be got welcome sequence. And then just click where it says create tag got welcome sequence and add action. So this means now when anyone comes in through this form, they get the welcome sequence and they get tagged as having got the welcome sequence. And it's a really good idea that when anyone gets anything in ConvertKit, that you tag them so that you know who has and who hasn't got things. However, you could also use rules to do this. So I'm going to show you how you would do this with rules. Okay, so let's go back to automations, and now you will see that you've got your visual automation there. And as you build out more and more visual automations, they will all appear on this screen. But to create a rule, you would want to come up here to where it says rules, and then add rule. And this, as I said before, this is like a one-step automation. So just a really simple, if you just quickly want to go, oh, if someone does that, I want them to do that. Without having to build a whole great big automation, you can do it here in rules. So let's recreate that same thing that we just did in automations, but in rules instead. So we would go first of all to subscribes to a sequence, and then we would select our welcome sequence. So this says whenever this happens, whenever someone subscribes to our welcome sequence, we want this to happen. So this would be, we want to add a tag, and the tag we would want to add is got welcome sequence. So really basic rule, whenever someone subscribes to a welcome sequence, they get added to the tag got welcome sequence, so you can keep track of who's got what. And then click save rule. And then you will see here in the rules section, all the rules that you have created will come up here so that you can quickly and easily keep track of what rules you've got and what you've got happening. Okay, so now you know how to create a form in ConvertKit, how to start getting subscribers, you know how to send a newsletter and how to send a welcome sequence. You know how to create visual automations and rules in ConvertKit. You know how to tag a subscriber, and you hopefully have seen how awesome ConvertKit really is. If you haven't yet got ConvertKit, don't forget you can try it for free at productiveblogging.com/ConvertKit. Again, just full disclosure, that is my affiliate link, which means if you go through my link and take the free trial and decide that ConvertKit is for you and start paying for ConvertKit, I will get a small commission. Massive thanks in advance for that. All those small commissions added together really help me to keep being able to create free resources like this one. Okay, so I really hope this tutorial has helped you. If this tutorial has helped you in any way, or if you just have a question, I would love to hear from you. Please drop me a line in the comments or head over to social media. I'm at Productive Blogging on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm at Ebgagano on Twitter. Really look forward to hearing from you, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.